Hello everyone, it's April 11, 2009. I'm Dwight Schmuck. This is the Schmuck Look. I really wasn't going to do this one just yet. I'm not really what you'd call fully prepared on it, but we'll see how it floats anyway, okay? I watched a couple of videos this morning on conspiracy this and conspiracy that. I even watched one, my God, secrecy in the White House. Oh, Lord, about the dog. There's a reason I don't watch TV news anymore. This story was it. Because the White House is not giving out the information about the dog, some TV news show was making a big deal about it. These people all got paid, the producers, the directors, the talking heads, the writers, everybody got paid for this. And it takes our minds off the real problems we're facing. And yet the conspiracy nuts are going to say, well, it's just another example of secrecy. Folks, both sides are feeding that flame. The guy out in Pittsburgh who's terrified that the Obama administration is going to ban guns and ammunition, yada, yada, yada. The most dangerous weapon, and they can't ban it because we all have it, is the human mind. No matter what the government does, what laws they profess for our safety and or theirs, the human mind will outweigh it. The martial arts, the nunchucks, nothing more than flails for, separating the rice from the husk. The size, the forked things, well, they're used to, get them out of the rice stalks out of the patties and, all that stuff. The bow staff, it's a walking stick. Think about it. You know why those weapons were, made really as weapons? They weren't originally weapons, they were tools. But the common folk, under order of the royalty, weren't allowed to have swords and spears and lances because, that might make them as good as. And the guy in Pittsburgh was terrified the government, which has had nothing to say about it, really, was coming to take his guns away. I'm a gun guy. I'm a liberative politically, liberal, conservative, liberative. You want to have a weapon, have a weapon. Have a nice day. It's how you use it that counts. Nothing else. Behavior control is really a bad thing. Mind control is a bad thing. Gun control is a stupid thing. Gun control means hitting what you're aiming at and being sure of your target. Nothing more, nothing less. Period. But the right-wingers, the extreme news shows, the Glenn Becks, all those, they capitalize on this. And they terrify Looney Tunes like this guy in Pittsburgh who's 23 out of work, yada, yada, yada. And, of course, that feeds the other side because, well, now we'll make it safer because we'll take some of those guns away. See what I mean? It's a collusion and a collision, folks. Look between the lines just a little bit. See who's in charge. I watched another video on the Bilderberg group and the secrecy. And, folks, of course, negotiations are always in secret. How many contracts get signed in the skyboxes that you and I get to pay for with our tax dollars because they're business expenses? Well, I'll bet the stockholders, if they had to pay it out of their dividend checks for those skyboxes that they never get to set foot in, would have something to say about it if it wasn't tax deductible as a business expense. Funny, I thought business was supposed to be conducted in the office, but then you couldn't enjoy those little bitty perks, could you? Waiters and, chefs and all that good stuff, but you're doing business. You're not having fun. Yeah, right. I'm a real schmuck, not a dumb one. Folks, this kind of stuff is going. You want a conspiracy? Here's the conspiracy. Some very wealthy, some very powerful people have figured out a way to manipulate the stock market and the government into giving up the bank. There's your conspiracy. Forget space aliens, everything else. Your conspiracy lies with some very wealthy, some very powerful people wanting more control. You know, the Bilderberg Group, I'm sure the guy's name was Bilderberg, but you know, a funny thought struck me. Somebody had to build the Titanic. It was sunk by a berg. And folks, I have faith in us. We're the berg. And we're going to sink their plans as we've done all through history. I have that much faith in us. Speaking of faith, folks, happy Easter. I'm Dwight Schmuck. That's the Schmuck Look. Peace, everyone.